Day at 3 o'clock. Bummer.
Why do you have to reschedule it for today?
I had like a notification on my phone that said fraud activity.
Oh, it's so bad, dude.
You think your anxiety's bad? I was like, what?
Yeah, it's bad, man. My wife got scammed. My daughter just got scammed, and I mean, she doesn't even do anything. Like,
right.
It's really, really bad out there. I'll give you guys a little tip that I use right now to try to avoid all this stuff. I don't know if every phone company and your carrier does all this, but mine does. I don't know if yours does or the other guys or whatever phone you have. But there's a feature on my phone. I think it's with the iPhone where if you're not in my phone, the phone just doesn't ring. And it just goes straight to voicemail.
Okay.
So you see like all these spam calls and whatnot that come in. And I probably have missed phone calls. And maybe I missed $1 million from a prince or something like that I was supposed to receive for a Social Security number change or whatever the case may be. But I've put that feature on my phone, and I don't get bombarded by the spam or any of that anymore. And I don't even really respond to emails anymore. I don't necessarily respond to text messages. I don't really respond to phone calls unless it's from somebody I know because there is so much junk out there. I mean, my wife got scammed by one of the big national banks out there, not the bank, but somebody using their phone number showed up $3,000 stolen from us because of that. So it's bad, bro. Like, don't even answer your phone unless you know who it is.
You like Jerry Seinfeld?
I do like Jerry Seinfeld a lot, and we're going to be giving away tickets all next week to go see Jerry Seinfeld and Jim Gaffigan down at T-Mobile Center on January 18th. Got my tickets, excited about that. That's a good duo, Jerry Seinfeld and Jim Gaffigan, every day next week. At this time, 8 o'clock, we're going to give away a pair of tickets to go see them in January.
All right, fire me up some NFL music as we get into what we love every week, which is the script. Bob, you want me to go first, or would you like to go first?
You can go first.
Okay. We've been kind of accurate, not completely accurate, so, it's kind of like not being superstitious, just a little stitious. As I can tell you, with my script, the Chiefs will win. I will get that out of the way. First off, the Chiefs will win.
And that's it. Scene.
Sure, yeah. Rashee Rice has a typical Rashee Rice game. Somewhere along the lines of 6-7 catches for 75-plus yards. I also think that Rashee Rice could have a chance to score a touchdown. He probably will have a touchdown.
Okay.
I think that Kareem Hunt will score in the first half. He was, as of yesterday, plus 220 to score. Prop numbers weren't up there.
220 just an anytime touchdown.
Anytime touchdown, Kareem Hunt plus 220.
Oh, I think you got to hit that.
I mean, there's a chance. I think he gets it in the first half as a welcome back to the Kansas City Chiefs. Okay. And why not do it with two middle fingers to the Los Angeles Chargers? I think Patrick Mahomes gets out of his head, like they had said on, Nate
Taylor.
Nate Taylor said, I think Patrick Mahomes throws for 250 plus, and I think Travis Kelce will get back to his typical Travis Kelce game because he eats and pries on the Los Angeles Chargers defense. I think Travis Kelce has somewhere along the lines of 6 for 70 and a touchdown. I think Justin Herbert will play. I think he plays, but I don't think he finishes. I think the defense will have 3+ sacks, and I think the final score, Bob, will be the Chiefs 30, Chargers 16.
Okay, I can get along with that one as well. All right, here's what I've got in the script this week. Chiefs and Chargers will kick off in L.A., and the Chargers will have players missing. I don't know who it's going to be, but we're setting the tone. The Chargers are not going to be playing at full strength today. You can hear Jim Nantz and Tony Romo, look out! And we'll have like maybe a missing tackle, maybe a missing quarterback. Obviously, Derwin James is not going to play in that game. So we're already going to have the folks out there with the narrative, oh, the Chiefs catch every break in the world, right? Kansas City will kick off as they do every game to start the game. Chargers will move down the field. You know it's a bend but don't break defense, right? The Chargers will move down the field and probably come away with an early lead, whether it's 7-0 or 3-0, they'll get early points. The Chiefs will get the ball, and Kareem Hunt or Travis Kelce will get featured a lot on that first drive. But, my friend, as Lee Corso would say, not so fast, my friend. The Chiefs will also try to air it out because the narrative has been they don't throw deep anymore. We went over those Patrick Mahomes numbers. Todd McShay is saying that nonsense. I think the Chiefs are going to open it up, and they're going to throw deep on that first drive. First half, it's going to be close. Chiefs will get a twofer at the end of the half and beginning of the second half. They'll get like a field goal or touchdown right before halftime, receive the kickoff, go down, and open up a 2-score lead. Travis Kelce will be a beast in the second half. He'll have 7 receptions on the day. He'll score a big-time touchdown. Chiefs win 34-17, and then the national fans will complain somehow about the referees, even though they're not going to have an impact on the game.
It's weird. It's like you're kind of listening to me more and more these days. I think the excuses are always going to be there, no matter how the Chiefs win or lose.
Well, it's been
Not
there for
lose,
all
just
3
win.
weeks. It's stupid.
Yeah.
Like it's one thing if it really was an issue, but when the owner's wife is calling out fans, that's how you know it's gotten to a point of nonsense. Because, the owner's wives don't do a lot of, chirping and whatnot. And Tavia came out this week, and I'm like, she may have had the best response to every troll that's out there saying, the Chiefs had 2 penalties called against them on the final drive for the Falcons to enable them to move down the field. And those were phantom penalties. So round of applause, Tavia. Way to go after it this week on social media and say what we were all thinking. The Falcons were the ones who benefited. They just didn't take advantage of their opportunities, right? I think we've all been given opportunities in our life. Some you take advantage of, some you don't. The Falcons had 2 opportunities at the end, and they didn't take advantage of those opportunities. So that people want to spin it and blame the Chiefs for not getting a call on a pass interference in the end zone when they had another play to run after that and another drive that was enabled by 2 Chiefs penalties. Enough with the narrative that the referees are helping the Chiefs, because so far this season, they have not.
2 things. One, we are live on the cameras.
Oh, nice.
Yep, we are. You can go to 965 The Fan. You can subscribe to the YouTube page, Twitch, streaming devices, however you want to do it. You can see our red and blue on the camera. It looks kind of nice.
Yeah.
As we both celebrate the arrival of the playoffs, that is the Royals that will be going to the playoffs. Their magic number is 1. Chiefs will play Sunday at 3:25. And thanks to James and Cody for getting that working.
There you
So
go.
those are my 2 things. So applaud yourselves on the back.
Mm-hmm. Applaud yourselves on the back or pat yourselves on the back, right?
Yep. Well, you're clapping your back. That's not what I should have said. That's got to go. Do better, Dusty. No, you do mention that national narrative that it may not just be, there's 2 basically national narratives with the Chiefs. There is obviously the one that is, well, the Chiefs are getting every play, getting every call. That's why they're 3-0. The media wants the Chiefs to be good because Taylor Swift, yada, yada, yada.
I just want to go back to that.
Right.
Those calls. Which calls have they benefited from? Yes, they missed the Brian Cook pass interference penalty, but there was another play and an entire other drive on that.
Well,
So what did I miss in the Baltimore game? What did I miss in the Bengal game?
I don't know. The calls that went the Chiefs' way, they actually benefited from because they took advantage.
That's
I guess
right.
is what you're missing.
I guess
they're missing.
Just take the Raven game. The guy was out of bounds. Like, enough with revisionist history that Isaiah Likely came down in bounds.
Well, they call false start on that left tackle too many times, as if that hasn't happened to the Chiefs.
Yeah. I mean, look at Detroit last year.
Right.
Chiefs didn't take advantage of that opportunity because of Kadropius.
And then the new national narrative is that maybe they're just boring.
I think the more damning thing with the Kansas City Chiefs, and is the thing that's going to make people turn on them, is that the Kansas City Chiefs are just kind of not fun to watch anymore. Yeah. I find myself as a guy who doesn't really have an NFL team. I'm a neutral observer. I just want to be entertained by the football I'm watching. But, boy, it's just a lot of dinking and dunking. You have one of the greatest quarterbacks ever, and he's just, like, hitting, like, wide receiver screens and, like, slant patterns, and it's good football, I guess, and you're winning, but it's like, I don't know, as a neutral observer, I'm like, I'm not enjoying watching the Chiefs like I used to watch them, which is going to make me turn on them because I feel the feeling swelling up inside me that I'm going to, by like week 9, be screaming at the TV, this team isn't even that good.
Okay, then they are that good, though, because they keep winning games. They're just not winning games the way that you want them to win games. And he's not wrong when he talks about the Mahomes numbers, right? Mahomes this year is averaging 5 yards average on the depth of a target, right? And I know that's a little bit geeky, but that means quick passes. Get the ball out, get the ball to your playmakers, do it. His first year in the league in 2018 when he was a full-time starter, it was 9.1 yards per average depth of target. They were going deep. They were going over the top. They had Tyreek Hill. They had Sammy Watkins. They had speed. They had Travis Kelce. Now they've got wide receivers that are great with the ball in their hand, that do great things after they catch it, so that's what they've spun their offense to. He doesn't have to throw the ball downfield. He doesn't need to wait for Tyreek Hill to run 40 yards and then loft it up in the air and they go, ooh, yay, everybody, that's a pretty play. He's got a guy named Rashee Rice who leads the league in yak. So get him the ball as soon as he can and let him do what he does best, and that's run with the football. Xavier Worthy is the exact same way. And with defenses having the talent that they are right now, many talented players on the defensive side of the football, right? Huge talent on the defensive side of the football on every team now. Your offensive line isn't holding up on any team right now to allow a quarterback to sit back there, survey the defense, and watch guys run down the field. So as these guys are blitzing and coming forward, you're getting the ball to Rashee Rice quick. Poop, he's running right by him, touchdown.
What are the expectations for the three? We explain who the three are on the other side. Bob Fescoe, James, Dusty with you here on Fescoe and Dusty on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, guys, I want you to listen up here, and I want you to take some real consideration about what I'm going to say, because if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction, we may have the help for you. Heartland Men's Health has treatments when the pills or herbals fail, and ED causes an emotional toll on relationships, and it impacts a man's confidence and self-esteem, which are true tragedies of erectile dysfunction. If you want to try to get over that, we've got the opportunity for you to help yourself. Over at Heartland Men's Health, they have treatments with success rates well over 90%. Some treatments can even have you last an hour or even more, and they have treatments that work when the pills or herbals fail. Heartland Men's Health is successfully treating men right here in Kansas City. So I want you to schedule a consultation with them today. Your initial visit is just $99. It includes a medical consult with a licensed medical provider, a T and PSA test, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Plus, they have an expert staff on hand, and if you're like a lot of men, you could be having sex the day after your appointment. They have 3 locations to serve you: Overland Park, Independence between Blue Springs and Lee Summit, and their new office in North Kansas City. So call them today. Don't wait any longer. 844-447-6600 or visit heartlandmenshealth.com.
Brought to you by Blue KC is the Coaches with Character program. Do you know a rock star high school coach in your district? Nominate them for the Blue KC Coaches with Character program at bluekc.com/nominate coaches with character. Let's make our coaches feel special and make our community a better place to live, work, and play.
Tune in this week to kick off with Boomer and Valenti to hear the Sims Spotlight featuring Super Bowl winning quarterback Phil Simms. Brought to you by Balance of Nature. Balance of Nature supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
Men, low testosterone causes a host of problems. These include a low sex drive, bad sleep patterns, unproductive workouts, decreased energy, brain fog, and more. But many men just attribute these symptoms to aging and don't consider that there are medical treatments that can give them back their vigor and vibrancy. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're feeling like I just described, it's time for you to treat that low T and change your life. At Heartland Men's Health, we're experts in treating low testosterone and other men's sexual health conditions. We've successfully treated many men for low T and seen the amazing difference that those treatments can make in a man's life. If you're like the vast majority of men who are low T, within just a few weeks, you'll feel your energy return, that brain fog will go away, your sleep will improve, as will your workouts, and your sex drive will be significantly enhanced as well. So make an appointment and make a true life change. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices: Overland Park, Independence, and now North Kansas City.
Vanguard is 100% client-owned, serving over 50 million investors every day. Whether you're planning for retirement, putting your kids through college, or saving up for your next adventure, Vanguard can help you set personalized investment goals. All investing is subject to risk. Vanguard is owned by its funds, which are owned by Vanguard's fund shareholder clients. Copyright 2024, The Vanguard Group, Inc., all rights reserved, Vanguard Marketing Corporation Distributor.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Meet Cheryl.
Hey.
She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Now your ideas don't have to wait. Now they have everything they need to come to life.
Dell Technologies and Intel are creating technology that loves ideas, loves expanding your business, evolving your passions. We push what technology can do, so great ideas can happen right now. Find out how to bring your ideas to life at Dell.com. Welcome to now.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Using the Labor Day weekend to get some work done? We got you. Stop by any store to save on oil, fuel system cleaner, wipers, and more. Looking for an end of summer wash? We've got deals for that too. Don't want to leave the garage? Get same-day delivery on AutoZone.com. Do Labor Day your way by getting something done at AutoZone.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer whenever I want?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. 94% of Sleep Number smart sleepers report better sleep. And now, during our biggest sale of the year, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Plus free home delivery on select smart beds when you add any base. Ends Labor Day. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Northland 35 southbound, lingering delays from an earlier problem, making your way south of 435 down towards Vivian. You're still sluggish. Heading up 470 northbound, slow from Woods Chapel Road up towards Lakewood with an accident partially blocking the left lane. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
All right, we're back online. Back on the cameras, on the X. You can subscribe to the page. Like I said, if we get 100 subscribers, our boss has to buy us lunch.
That's right. Every day that we get 100 subscribers, he has to buy us lunch.
Yeah.
So we get 100 today, he buys us lunch today. We get 100 on Monday, he buys us 100 on Monday. And we know you don't like Spectre, so spite subscribe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And when we go to lunch, we go to the most expensive places and order the most expensive thing on the menu.
Somebody says, I missed your guys' take on the Royals being one game away. Regardless, love the show. We'll get back into the Royals.
Yeah, we got a podcast, too, though. They're all up, right? You can grab podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we will get into the Royals, but, got two. That's the best part about, which I want to hit on real quick. This is the best part about being in Kansas City right now, is that I'm happy to not be able to please everyone, because some of you want nonstop Royals action. Some of you want nonstop Chiefs action. And for me, I love being Stretch Armstrong on both sides of those takes.
And some of you want nonstop NBA talk.
No. They don't want that. But no, like that's the best part about it. And like, that's what we were trying to gear people up for, is that, in 14, the Chiefs weren't, going really deep into the playoffs.
No, they were
15,
not.
Same thing.
Yeah.
They were still waiting. We're waiting for the Patrick Mahomes
15,
arrival.
You may remember the Chiefs started 1-5.
And then ran off.
And won 11 straight.
That's right. And now you have a perfect world where when the Chiefs were great, the Royals were terrible. And now the Royals are playing playoff baseball. The Chiefs are getting ready to go for a three-peat. And we get to sit back and enjoy the whole lot of thing.
We've never
I didn't
lived
say any English there.
I don't know what that was. I have no.
Just rolling through. My tongue sometimes goes too fast.
But we've never been. I'm just going to leave Michael Scott out of that one. I think what we are looking at, though, Dusty, is a situation that nobody has ever been in before, where you have both teams in the postseason at the exact same time, both teams dominating their sport at the exact same time. Yeah, the Royals had the World Championship in 15, but like we said, I remember it distinctly, the day the Royals won the championship, waking up in my hotel room in Flushing, Queens, getting ready to go to the ball game, and I remember talking, I think it was to Binkley, maybe, or whoever was doing the Sunday morning show. It had to be Binkley. I don't know if it was, because Binkley was in New York, but whatever it was, right? Waking up and by the time I woke up that morning, it was already halftime of the Chiefs game, because they were playing that Lions team in London that day. It was the day of the London game where they played the Lions, and they won that game, and that was the start of their 11-game winning streak, right? And they went on and won a bunch of games and won their first playoff game in 30 years that year. I'm like, all right, cool. The Royals just won the World Series, and the Chiefs eked into the playoffs. That's cool. But now we're sitting in a world that none of us have ever experienced before. The Royals aren't eking into the playoffs. They're a playoff team. We expect them to clinch as early as today. The Chiefs are going for a three-peat, and at this time of the year, we've never had that. We've never had a baseball playoff team and a football team that people were like dying the wool for, because the last two times we had that, the Chiefs were just a mid type of team, right? It was before Mahomes and Andy Reid and all this stuff took off. I know Andy was here, but before him and Mahomes were together.
Right.
And so we've never been in this world where everybody wants to talk Royals or everybody wants to talk Chiefs or everybody wants to talk a little. So we're trying to do our best, to talk about both of the organizations. But we're new at this, too. We're all wet behind the ears because we've never lived in a world where the Royals were going to the playoffs and the Chiefs were, the best thing we've ever seen, and Taylor Swift was involved, right? You got a baseball team going to the playoffs. You got a football team going for a three-peat, and the biggest pop star in the universe lives in Kansas City. Like, it's just bizarre when you think about what world we're living in right now.
No doubt. And the world we're living in right now is that Kareem Hunt is back with the Kansas City Chiefs. We had Mitch Holtis on earlier. If you missed it, check it out on the podcast. But this is what he said for Kareem Hunt expectations.
Someone who will be part of that team is Kareem Hunt, and I'm interested to know what maybe your expectations are after kind of watching him in practice and kind of getting to see where he's at this point in his career.
I think there's enough there to help out. We're going to be wrong if we think it's going to be 2017 Kareem Hunt and half of 2018. But there's enough there and what he provides to be valuable. It's still going to be running back by committee or algebraic quadratic equation, whatever analogy you want to make. But if he becomes then a third part of this, because P. Ryan is still going to be a part of it, so is Carson Steele. And so, but there's enough there. Can you get us 6 yards? Can you burst through and maybe get a 12-yard gain and get a first down? A coach told me yesterday, and I thought it was really well put, all three of those guys are going to be moving forward. All of them. All of them are able to get yards after contact and do so on a regular basis. So I think Kareem, he's that same guy, and so I think there's going to be value there, but I wouldn't necessarily put him on your fantasy team.
Yeah, and that's kind of the expectation we all thought when they originally acquired Kareem Hunt. I wouldn't put any running back for the Chiefs on my fantasy team right now.
Right. No, I mean, well, yeah, you would. You'd have Rasheed Rice on that fantasy.
No, running back.
Oh, well, I mean, depending on what Carson Steele can do, he might get you 80 and a touchdown this week.
Maybe, but I mean, I think they're just going to rotate these guys in. I do. Like, keep everybody fresh. There's no you don't really have a feature running back. Carson Steele's been here for 5 seconds, right? Like, he's not a feature running back. So you go and you utilize these guys in a rotation, like you do with the defensive line. You keep guys fresh. You keep their legs ready to go. So when you get late in the game and late in the season, you don't have all this wear and tear on these guys. So that's how I would do it if I was Andy, and I probably think that's how they're going to do it. I don't think there's going to be one featured back. It's going to be a running back by committee, as they like to say.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we're looking at high expectations in a realistic world for Kareem Hunt.
No.
But like Mitch had said, like the addition, and like Nate Taylor had said, like having him on this team to, kind of help in that department is great. And like I said, I think the most you see from him is maybe a total of anywhere between 5 and 10 touches, whether that's 4, handoffs and 4, receptions. Maybe that's way too high on receptions, but I look at him to be your third down guy, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3. You can swing him out in the flat. You can, curl him over the top. You can give him a little handoff and let him get those 3 to 4 yards. But my expectations for Hunt are to just be a valuable option on this offense. Be able to go in there when your number's called, which will be 29 for those of you looking for him on the field, and do what you're supposed to do. Be a piece.
Right. Be an option.
The puzzle is the three-peat. Everybody plays a part in that puzzle. Patrick Mahomes is your quarterback. That's why running backs are, even Isaiah Pacheco, who was well enough to be a fantasy option because he just always seemed to find the end zone. Plus, he was getting 20 touches a game, whether those were 15 handoffs and 5 receptions. But that's the reason that none of these guys are Isaiah Pacheco. But None of these guys the Royals had were Vinny Pasquantino, right? Robbie Grossman, Paul DeYoung, Tommy Pham, all those guys, none of them were Vinny Pasquantino. But little of those, each guy's talents together can kind of give you what was Vinny Pasquantino's production, which is tough to make up because he was an RBI leader in the American League.
Right.
Just like with this Chiefs running back field with, when Clyde Edwards-Helaire returns, Kareem Hunt, Samaje Perine,
That's right.
Carson
We're getting
Steele.
him back. Is this week 4?
This is week 4.
Next week
he's
we
eligible
get
to come
Clyde
back week 5.
Yeah. And they're very confident he's coming back.
Right.
Yeah.
And all those guys together with what they can bring can give you the closest thing to maybe an Isaiah Pacheco. Kareem Hunt can be better than Carson Steele in the passing game. Carson Steele can be that hard pounding running back up the middle. That type of Pacheco running back. You're not going to have IP, but you can put a bunch of guys together that can equal up to maybe the closest thing you would have if you were to be there.
And I'm fine with that. I think in football, it's okay to have 3 or 4 guys equal one. At baseball, it's harder to do, right? Because you want that big bat, when it's crunch time, you can count on Vinny. But I think with this type of situation, I think all 3 of these running backs, and I think Clyde, once he comes back, gives you 4 guys that you can truly rely on. Perine's a veteran. Obviously, Steele has proven that he's a guy. He had the 1 fumble, but big deal. Everybody fumbles. Kareem Hunt has been in this league for a long time and has a track record. And then you've got Clyde Edwards-Helaire coming back. And Perine, like I said, you've got 4 guys that can truly give you what you need. But 4 guys can do it and also take rests and have the ability to get their legs back and not take the wear and tear and have to be out there for every single play. The Kareem Hunt injury may turn out to be one of those blessings in disguise where we look back. Isaiah Pacheco, may turn out to be one of those blessings in disguise where we look back at the end of the year and we go, man, look what that injury allowed the Chiefs to do. They allowed Carson Steele to grow. They allowed Perine to kind of be a veteran leader. They allowed Kareem Hunt to come back and, Clyde Edwards-Helaire to come back and get valuable carries and really work themselves back into what we're looking at here is an offense that's going to need all of these guys once January rolls around. Once we get to the point of that season where it's cold and it's rough and the hits feel harder and whatnot, you're going to have a lot of fresh guys at that running back position. You're not just relying on one guy. You're truly going to have that 5-headed monster. So that's what I'm excited about.
All right, let's get into our cover 2 as we do every Friday, what we are covering this weekend, whether it is the Chiefs, whether it is the NFL. Bob, I went first in the script, so why don't you go first when it comes to the cover 2?
All right, the first one I'm going to be looking at is Jacksonville. For whatever reason, I'm very intrigued on how they're going to respond to getting motorboated the other day against the Buffalo Bills. I think it's a big game for Trevor Lawrence. I think it's an even bigger game for Doug Peterson. If he doesn't want to come back to Kansas City and be an assistant coach at some point in time, he needs to figure these things out in Jacksonville. And so I'm going to be interested to see because they had the worst loss of week 3, losing by 37 to the Bills. In the last 20 years, teams that lose by 30 or more points and are underdogs of 4 or more the next game are 89, 50, and 3 against the spread. Usually a team that gets their ass handed to them bounces back the next week. I'm going to see if Trevor Lawrence and Doug Peterson have that ability. Doug Peterson wouldn't even go as far to say that Trevor Lawrence is the starting quarterback. So it's a mess already down in Jacksonville, but it's not what you do, it's how you get back up. And so I want to see what Jacksonville is able to do this weekend. The other thing that I'm going to be watching, Wanya Morris. We all praised Wanya, right? Had a great game at left tackle last week, did amazing things. We love what he did. Now can you do it against a pretty good defense in the Chargers? Obviously, a lot of good Chargers defensive linemen. Khalil Mack's going to be there. Hopefully, Bosa is out and is not going to be part of this to make it a little bit easier on him. But I'm going to be watching Wanya Morris this week to see if he takes that next step, plays as well, or if he regresses a little bit. I think a lot of people are going to be watching Wanya Morris as well.
Wanya, yes. My cover 2 is a little different. Right now, we're going to find out who's going to hold the Intercontinental title. Who's the next man up? Who's the number 1 contender? And I think that answer comes on Sunday night. Sunday Night Football is going to be electric. It is the Baltimore Ravens and the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo will go to Maryland and play the Ravens on Sunday Night Football. So a big road test for the Bills. Josh Allen carries the MVP crown as of right now in the NFL. Can he hold on to it as he goes and visits last year's MVP?
Is this their first real test? Because Buffalo had Arizona and then they had Jacksonville.
No, they had Arizona, Miami, and
I
then
couldn't remember. Yeah, so they haven't really been tested
in
yet.
Miami, that was when their season took a toll.
Right.
But no, so Buffalo will go to Baltimore. Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, a good defense finally for Josh Allen to kind of see if this offense, this new revamped offense is going to be good under, I believe it's Joe Brady, and see if they can really put this thing in motion. If Buffalo goes into Baltimore and does exactly what they did to Jacksonville or does what they did to Miami or, shows that they can play elite football, Buffalo is the number one contender. If Baltimore can continue to do what they've done since they've lost to the Chiefs and the Raiders, which they had that game against Dallas, whatever, 1 week, but if they can be that team where they're just going to lean on Lamar Jackson to create everything in the offense and then go into Zay Flowers, because Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely have been nowhere since week one. Isaiah Likely had a big game against the Chiefs and then has kind of drifted back to reality. But I'm looking at this game as like, who is that team? I don't know if Houston's it yet. I need to see more.
All of a sudden, the bloom has fallen off the rose of Houston for a lot of people, I feel like.
A lot of people maybe, but look, I want to see more in this second season, the sophomore year of C.J. Stroud. It's always a tough year unless you are like a guy like Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, guys like that,
Sure.
Josh Allen. But if you are that team and you want to continue to be that team, you got to kind of show that you can, play with the big guns. And this week, Buffalo, Baltimore, a big shot at who's the number one contender to the Kansas City Chiefs. And if Baltimore wins, which I think we are all hoping for, you have tiebreaker over them. They would have tiebreaker over Buffalo. And then you'll get your chance at Buffalo later on in the season when they get their Super Bowl against the Chiefs.
Super Bowl, yeah.
The other cover, the second part of the cover, too, that I'm looking at is which quarterback that's kind of surprised the league in the first 3 weeks comes back down to earth. I'm looking at Derek Carr. I'm looking at Sam Darnold, Kyler Murray, Geno Smith, and Baker Mayfield. Baker had a not-so-good game last week against Denver.
Terrible game,
They just were out-coached. It just looked like it was a bad mashup from the word go. Baker Mayfield kind of gave people some questions like, maybe we were a little early on Baker.
Bo Nix showing that he's him.
Okay. And, Geno Smith's been good. Seattle's 3-0. Geno Smith has been very underrated this year.
Very boring.
Which, maybe.
The Tim Duncan of football.
Could be. And I think that we'll see from Derek Carr, Sam Darnold, Kyler Murray, Geno Smith, Baker Mayfield, those types of names, which one of those guys is really kind of, fitting the narrative of maybe somebody that we are and should be a little bit higher on that we're not. Sam Darnold's been great so far. Derek Carr and the Saints look like they have a great offense rolling over there in New Orleans.
Except last week.
It was down.
Yeah.
But again, this is another week. This is week 4. This is, close to a quarter of the season.
Yeah.
This is where we're going to start to see guys where will these quarterbacks that have been riding high in the cover 2 so far been doing their job, or can they continue? Or will we see these guys that have been kind of overlooked because it's been a down season like Mahomes and, Lamar Jackson and all these guys, and everyone's like, well, their numbers aren't as great as they've been in the past. Will those numbers come up? Because we'll see. We'll see which quarterbacks come back down to earth, and we'll see which quarterbacks come back into the limelight of, okay, we were too early on this. It's only been 3 weeks. Week 4 showed us that these guys are actually still these guys.
Of those 5 that you mentioned, Darnold is the one I believe in most right now. Carr probably comes in second. Geno third, Baker fourth, and Kyler kind of fifth on that list. The Baker one's going to be interesting, too, because, can he handle the adversity of losing that football game last week to Bo Nix, right? You got to bounce back, Baker. But Sam Darnold just has an unbelievable season. I really like what they're doing up in Minnesota right now. So that's going to be a fun one to watch. He's got those great weapons, too. I think Sam Darnold puts together a really good season. At the end of the year, we're like, damn, Sam Darnold was a good quarterback.
Yep. That is this week's cover 2.
You want to hear Mitch Holthus take a shot at Todd McShay?
Sure.
Who doesn't, right? Hey, can you turn on my computer?
Uh-oh.
So we live in the world of an easy or lazy narrative that gets lots of reaction. That's when you ding the bell, right? If I can give some lazy, crazy, inaccurate narrative, but I get everybody all fired up. Todd McShay usually does his homework when it comes to the draft time, usually. This one, just to poke the needle and poke the bear, whatever, to push the needle, is ridiculous. Travis Kelce has played, he's closing in on 7,000 snaps over the past, 7 years. I've watched him this summer. I watched him in training camp. I'll see him in practice, where the guy just is a workhorse. I don't get where he's distracted. I don't get where he's fat or whatever, McShay, all the stuff he said. Like, it's just ridiculous. But if I can get all the Swifties fired up and I can get all the Chiefs Kingdom fired up by saying something lazy and ridiculous, then watch this. And that's the world we're living in, and it's somewhat troubling.
I mean, I can't disagree with a thing that Mitch has to say there about Travis Kelce and Todd McShay. It is the easy narrative. And that's what you get now when you watch these shows on TV or listen to national radio or whatever the case may be. When you listen to people that aren't there every day like we are, right, with this team and follow this team closely, they just look at ancillary stuff and go, well, Travis Kelce isn't producing, he only has 69 yards receiving this year, so he must be fat and out of shape. Like, that was the narrative that Todd McShay was running with this week. And I find it to be just irresponsible and a very bad take. I don't care if the guy played college football. Just because you played a sport doesn't mean you know the sport. And that take by Todd McShay tells me he really doesn't know that much about football.
Well, I think he's just also trying to have, like, some sort of, like, hot take, I guess.
But have a good hot take.
Well, I mean, that's good for everybody outside of Kansas City,
I guess.
Right? I mean, he's just not trying to feed into the fandom that is the city. He's trying to get people that make sure he's still relevant. He's trying to make sure
and
that
you nailed it, because he's not on the 4-letter network anymore.
Right, and he's just trying to, get numbers. And look, we spent 2.5 days talking about Todd McShay. Why?
Yeah.
Because his take was terrible in Kansas City. Some people outside are like, you know what? He's right. He is kind of out of shape. He is not the same Travis Kelce. You know what that happens? We go into Los Angeles this weekend and just two middle finger it to everybody in the world and be like, hey, here I am, 7 for 88 and a touchdown.
That's right.
Now
Let's
what?
do it. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that they will be that petty, but I would love to see that. That's my hope and my wish is to kind of see that kind of come forward. And if they're not, and they're 4-0, and Rashee Rice has another 6 for 88 and a touchdown, and, Carson Steele has 12 rushes for 79 yards, and Patrick Mahomes throws for 265.
And they win 22-17.
Cool.
Great.
They're 4-0.
Right.
You know what narrative they control? The number 1 seed AFC Championship goes through Arrowhead, and all of a sudden Patrick Mahomes plays for his 3rd consecutive Super Bowl.
Right.
I don't care if you're fat, skinny, or morbidly obese. You win 4 straight in the season, and you win your 10th straight in a row, and you're setting yourself up for the number 1 seed. Be boring. I don't care.
And you've beaten legitimately 4 competitors. The number 1 competitor in your division, a competitor in the NFC in Atlanta, and arguably 2 of the 3 biggest competitors in the AFC to start the season. Like, I hate to kind of continue to bring this back to winning is all that matters, but it is. It's all that matters. And the fact of the matter is, we've got players on our team that understand winning is all that matters. And you're not going to hear them complain about numbers. You're not going to hear them complain about stats. You're not going to hear them complain about not getting the ball enough. Hey, did we win the game? Great. 4-0, move on. Let's get ready for a Monday night game against the New Orleans Saints.
No doubt about it. Fescoe and Dusty's rolling along. We come back, we talk about your Royals, but first we tell you who is brought to you by Rainer Garage Doors of Kansas City. LiftMaster has patented MyQ Technologies, the number 1 professionally installed garage door opener. Find them at RainerKC.com. For all of you that have missed Royals conversations, you can always go back and listen on the podcast, but we bring back those Royals for you, those playoff-bound Royals, here on Fescoe and Dusty on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your new home for K-State Athletics, 96.5 The Fan.
Well, I'll tell you what, the age-old question in Kansas City, you ask it every day. Where are we going to park? No matter where you're going, that's the first thing you ask. I'm here to solve that for you when you go to the airport. When you're flying out of KCI, you're going to park at Park and Go. Number 1, all their spots are covered parking, so your car is never going to be exposed to the elements, right? You're good to go. It's protected. Everybody's happy. Number 2, you're going to make your reservation at Park and Go the easy way at bookparkandgo.com. And do it after you make your flight reservation. You're flying, you got to have that parking spot, so reserve it that day and then prepay for it, because that's when you're going to save money, when you prepay at bookparkandgo.com. Then on the day of your flight, you show up, you give them the reservation number, they've got the spot reserved for you. As soon as you pull into that spot, the van meets you and takes you right to the airport terminal. You're there in no time at all, and you're never running around the lot looking for a bus hoping it shows up. And that's the same way when you get back as well. Get off the plane, grab your bags, walk outside. There's the van. It's waiting for you. And I always tell the story. 2:25 in the morning, we got back. The only van in sight was the Park and Go van. So do what I did and join their frequent Parker program and earn points towards free parking. Reserve your spot today at bookparkandgo.com. The best deals in parking. Bookparkandgo.com. Park and Go, family owned and operated.
The Chiefs, Cardinals, Royals, Blues, and our 2 soccer teams, the Current and St. Louis City SC, are all endorsing Amendment 2. Here's why you should support it too. Right now, Missouri sports fans are taking their money and placing their bets in Kansas and Illinois. We're losing our money to other states, money that could be invested in our schools. Amendment 2 fixes that. by legalizing sports betting. Amendment 2 will generate over $100 million for Missouri schools over the next 5 years. And there's a strong constitutional guarantee ensuring the revenue from sports betting will go to education. Kansas and Illinois know sports betting is a winner for their fans and taxpayers. It's time for Missouri to get into the game. Amendment 2 means over $100 million for Missouri schools. Join the Chiefs, Cardinals, Royals, Blues, Current, and St. Louis City SC in supporting Amendment 2. Paid for by Winning for Missouri Education, Mike Pridmore, Treasurer.
Have you noticed your neighbors getting new roofs after the storms that came through this year? Then it's time to schedule a zero-pressure, in-depth inspection with Century Roofing's trusted roofing experts. We will determine if enough damage exists to warrant filing a claim. See for yourself why Century Roofing has been voted Best of Johnson County for the 3rd year in a row. Trust the pillars of strength with KC-based and female-owned. Century Roofing, your hometown roofing team. Century Roofing, KC.com.
Century Roofing, trust the pillars of strength.
Hey friends, it's noisy out there with information coming at us all day, every day. It's hard to know what to trust, and the world of wealth management is no exception. That's why UMB Private Wealth Management helps you tune out the noise and tune into what matters most. They'll create a financial plan based on your unique goals, so it's your voice that comes through loud and clear. Get financial clarity. Go to umb.com/privatewealth to schedule an appointment. That's umb.com/privatewealth.
A Gain Scent Bead story. Jim was at the laundromat when he heard his ear said, "Maraca, senor," but his nose said, "Hey, freshest scent ever." Following his nose, Jim found a man pouring a bottle of Gain Scent Beads into the washer. The scent, the freshness. Jim blurted, "Sir, your scent Maraca smell amazing." Actually, Jim, most noses call them Gain Scent Beads. Try Gain Scent Beads, way fresher than detergent alone.
Y'all want to hear about the AARP auto insurance program from the Hartford? Well, if you're age 50 or over, you could save hundreds when you switch. Are you ready for some exclusive discounts too? Phone's in the air now. We're going to sign you up, baby. Go to visithartfordauto.com today for your free quote.
When you're with the Hartford, the Bucks got your back. Provided by Hartford Fire Insurance Company, not AARP or its affiliates. Individual savings vary. The Hartford pays a royalty fee to AARP, which is used for external purposes. For information and restrictions, go to thehartford.com.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow. Maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Andy's Frozen Custard. Visit eatandys.com to find the location nearest you. Top your day with a smile.
Let me tell you about my good friend Andy from Andy's Frozen Custard. He's from Kansas City, never misses a game, and serves the world's finest frozen custard. Tailgate with a pick six, or grab a freshly made custom treat before or after a game. And tell him Mitch and Andy sent you.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Missouri side 29 southbound, just a bit slow from Armour down across the Bond Bridge. Northbound side of 29, starting to slow approaching Front Street. You may have a new problem through there. East side 435 southbound, just a bit sluggish from I-70 down to Raytown Road. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
True in fairy tales, meant for someone else, but not for me. Love was out to get me. That's the way it seemed. Disappointment haunted all my dreams. And then I
fastball laced through the left side, a base hit into left field. Blanco's in to score. Massey rounds third. Wood bobbles the ball in left. Massey scores standing without a throw. A pinch hit, 2-run go-ahead single. Adam Frazier comes through, and the Royals take a 6-4 lead in the top of the 9th inning.
That's the sound of Jake Eisenberg that you could hear on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City Royals baseball. They're in action tonight against the Atlanta Braves.
Yep, no weather to worry about. That storm is moving on out.
Nice. Love to see that. As the Royals are a
I hope
playoff
I'm
team. Yep. Should be a fun time as we are all watching the Kansas City Royals. You can all watch us on our channel on Fescoe and Dusty on YouTube, Twitch, YouTube TV. I guess you could do that too.
Yeah.
You can do it on Twitter. You can put your smart TV, whatever you want to do. You can have us on there. Subscribe to the show. We get 100. For every 100 we get a free meal from our boss. So it's kind of like the book it deal back in the day at Pizza Hut. You read a book, you get a free pan pizza.
But he's not just giving
pan.
us a small little pan pizza. We're getting whatever we want. So
Either way, it'll taste great.
Oh, God, yes. Free food is better than any food. It's like, what's
That's
your
right.
favorite beer? Free. Or for our good listener, Steven, who's been listening to the show for years, has subscribed. He sent me the thing on Twitter, so he's subscribed in. He's trying to help us get a free meal from the boss as well.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Steven.
Another thing to look at this weekend is, Maggie Smith died.
Who?
Maggie Smith.
I don't know who that is.
From Harry Potter and Downtown Abbey.
Yeah.
The Professor.
Nah,
89.
I was never into any of those.
She was also in the Addams Family movies.
Yeah. Was she Fester?
No.
Oh.
No. There's a hell of a doppelganger of that man around here. I'll tell you that much. Damn near about broke my phone yesterday. Anyways, but the Royals are a playoff team. Their magic number is 1. Minnesota continues to fumble the bag. Detroit gets to play the hot White Sox. Never thought I'd say that in 2024.
But they've won 3 in a row, right? It's more than they won all season.
Hey, they're winning in spite.
Yeah.
And
they're pissing their fans off. Like, if you didn't piss your fans off enough by losing 120, they were selling tickets because people wanted to see them break the record, and they didn't do it.
And you kind of said this weekend will give us a look at like what true playoff baseball can look like.
Yeah, I think it's a better indication of these next 3 games than these last 3 games. You played a Washington Nationals team. It would be like playing, the Marlins or whatever. The Royals took care of business. You keep a losing team losing. Minnesota didn't. That's why they're not going to make the playoffs. Stayed up way too late watching 13 innings of Marlins and Twins last night. But you know what? I'm dialed in. I'm like, are we going to be at a number of 2? Are we going to be at a number of 1? And I mean, like, let's go. And the Marlins won that game. And, man, the Twins are a depleted team. They're out of the playoffs. So let's go clinch this thing tonight, whether it's another Twins loss or we win. But I think these 3 games are more of an indication on what to expect, the competition we're going to face, the style of baseball we're going to play. Than these last 3 games against the Washington Nationals. You did what you had to do. You took care of business. You kept a losing team losing. Now you got 3 big ones that are going to get you ready for the postseason.
I thought the National Series was a real good indication of what a playoff team should look like for us as a Royals team, for a Royals city, for a Royals channel here on 96.5 The Fan. I thought the way that they played, knowing that they were never out of it. Per se, I know the Washington Nationals aren't really the best. I know yours is like the Braves are a playoff team-ish, and they're going to be competitive. They have a good rotation. See how you can play against that.
But I think it was the mental side, Dusty, with Washington when you went 18 or however many innings without scoring a run.
Right, 27.
Yeah.
27 or 28 innings without scoring a run. But, like, you played the right matchups. You went lefty, lefty, lefty out of the bullpen. Then you let your closer, Irsay, come in there and finish the game. The next night, very similar, right? I think you won 3-0.
Yeah,
used good
3-0,
pitching. Reagan's wasn't the first game. Reagan's wasn't all that, what Matt Cotrero said. He was like, he wasn't his best stuff, but it was still good, which is scary, crazy scary. And then yesterday,
that's like saying Patrick Mahomes, like Reagan's and Mahomes kind of in that same category.
And then yesterday, you had a game in which you got out to a 4-run lead. You were down twice, or you were down once. It was 1-0 Nationals. You came back, rallied, got up 4-1. Then the game was tied after a 3-run homer.
Yeah,
and that was watching it when we got home. I was kind of just like, damn, that sucks.
Yeah.
At least it's only tied. And then you came back and won, and it was unsung heroes that helped you with that, right? Like it was Adam Frazier who put you up by 2. Then Salvador Perez kind of put the cherry on top of the cake with a 7-4 lead. But you won an extra innings where your offense was, non-existent, and your pitcher was good. The next game you won a classic baseball game, 3-0, get in, get out, how you doing? And then last night or yesterday, you won a game in which, you had some adversity. You gave up a 3-run homer from Michael Wacha, who's your, veteran leader in the rotation, and you still somehow rallied, didn't let it affect you. You won 3 games out of 3 games. You swept. You put yourself in that much more control of a wild card spot, and you're going to play playoff baseball, and now you're going to spearhead the playoff baseball with a 3-man rotation that I would take over any rotation in the American League. That's not biased. That's just so hard facts. I would take the Royals 3-man front over anybody in the AL, and you're going to add a superstar and a guy that's a captain who's been in plenty of playoff baseball games because those 14, 15 years, and in 15, he was a World Series MVP.
Yeah, and you're looking at a series against the Sale, Fried, and Schwellenbach this weekend down in Atlanta, whatever order they pitch them in, however they decide to do it. I know some people think they may save Sale for that doubleheader on Monday against the Mets, but if you don't win these games against the Royals, you're not going to play that doubleheader against the Mets. That's a bad managerial decision if you're thinking about saving anybody. I always use the example of my grandma. I'm saving it for good. Then she was dead, and all her sweaters still had tags from Lord & Taylor on them that she never wore, that she was saving them for good. You can't save things for good. You've got to go out there and go after it. And so I do expect to see Sale. I expect to see Max Fried tonight. I expect to see Spencer Schwellenbach this weekend as well. Those are 3 amazing pitchers that the Braves are going to roll out there because they have to win games as well. I'm anxious. I'm excited to see what the Royals are going to do against 3 potential aces and the style of pitching you're going to see in the postseason against a postseason-type team against a good team. I think it's going to be a really, really good indication of what we can expect. I want to see what we saw in the Washington Nationals game, do it against the Atlanta Braves, do it against a good team, take 3 from the Braves. You take 3 from the Braves, holy crap, you talk about momentum going into the postseason. You're winners of 6 in a row. That 7-game losing streak is irrelevant. Your starting pitching is pitching well. Your bullpen's getting guys out. Your offense is coming through with key hits, and you did it against 3 potential aces. All right, now I think everybody's going to be fearing the Royals.
Not only that, if you want to add a little bit more fear to the league, this is from Andy Rogers, the MLB beat writer for the Kansas City Royals yesterday before the game took off. Vinny Pasquantino is hitting off the pitching machine on the field this morning in D.C. There have been quite a few balls sent over the fence. Pretty incredible progress.
How fast do you dial that pitching machine up to when you're taking a BP?
I bet it's at like 80, 88.
You think 88?
Yeah, I mean, league average fastball is what, 89, 90 miles per hour?
Yeah.
Right? Maybe not today. It might be like 92 with the spin rate and the way they're throwing it these days. But
right.
Either way, the guy broke his hand like 6 weeks ago, and he's hitting home runs over the fence off a pitching machine.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That means the feel's there. I mean, somebody could throw the ball with their hand.
Has it been 6 weeks already?
I mean, it might be less. I don't know.
I'm trying to, when it had to be the end of August, right?
Okay.
Oh, my God, it's been a month already?
Yeah.
Good Lord. That time went fast.
And he's hitting the ball over the fence off a pitching tee or off a pitching machine.
That's crazy.
I mean, if he comes back,
that's the stuff that you can't, like, there's no numbers for that. Right. That's, again, managing with feel, like I talked about Q needs to do. If this guy's ready,
throw him out there.
Throw him out there.
He's got all offseason to rest if something goes wrong.
And you know what kind of spark that's going to bring to everybody else in that lineup?
Look at the spark it brought when he just came into the dugout.
I know.
When he was back with the team, they've won 3 straight since.
Yeah, that's managing with feel. If he if he looks at you and goes, I can go, you put him back out there, you let him go, because that lineup is going to get adrenaline. That whole team is going to get adrenaline. That's their guts and glory guy, right? You bring him back into the lineup, man, everybody's going to be feeling good.
No doubt. Good, beautiful morning, guys. Love your show. Listen every day. Today is my birthday. Thank you for beginning my day. Teresa and Shawnee. Go
hey,
Royals.
Teresa.
Let's go Chiefs. Happy birthday to Teresa.
Way to go, kiddo. Happy birthday to you.
Feliz cumpleaños a ti. Yeah, I mean, what a great time to be alive, though. We're talking Royals baseball. We're talking Chiefs going for a 3-peat, going for a 4th win in a row. Not only that, you'd knock off the first divisional opponent on the record. I don't think you should be afraid of a Gardner Minshew, a Bo Nix, or anything like that. But
Patrick Mahomes is 13-1 on the road straight up in AFC West games. The only loss was last year against Denver when he had the flu. I feel pretty good about our chances.
I'll tweet out some numbers and bring up some numbers about Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes' last 4 games against the Chargers, and they will absolutely be astonishing. But coming up on the other side, it is Friday. It is Fescoe and Dusty, and we do our Richards of the Week. Coming up on the other side here on Fescoe and Dusty on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
Fescoe and Dusty.
I can feel it all the way down in my plums.
On Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
When Google Fiber first launched 1 gig internet right here in Kansas City, it cost $70. Cut to today. Over 10 years later, 1 gig internet still costs the same, $70. That's what you get with Google Fiber. Fast, reliable internet with simple, straightforward monthly billing. No data caps, no annual contracts, no hidden fees. Just a small local fee for the city on top of your flat, predictable price. Go beyond good enough. Go beyond fiber. Sign up today at fiber.google.com.
How can we help? Yeah, there are so many football games streaming this season. Can Xfinity Internet handle it?
Oh, we know the game is only live once, so we built a network with all-pro speeds and low lag so you don't miss a snap.
So I can yell, "He's open!" when he's actually open?
Yeah, but the quarterback still can't hear you.
Switch to Xfinity Internet and TV and enjoy instant access to your favorite live sports with the Xfinity Stream app. Actual speeds vary and not guaranteed. Streaming content limited to the U.S. Programming subject to change.
COVID-19 cases are on the rise, and peak flu season is almost here. Save time and get the updated COVID-19 vaccine and your flu shot at the same time at Hy-Vee. Schedule your updated COVID-19 vaccine and flu shot online today, or just stop by any Hy-Vee pharmacy whenever it's convenient for you. No appointment necessary. Plus, when you get your flu shot at Hy-Vee, earn a 20-cent fuel saver. Your Hy-Vee pharmacy is here to help you and your family stay healthy. Some restrictions apply.
Intimacy. Those special moments when we're together and deeply connected to the one we love. Truly, there are few times in life as wonderful as these. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and it's the restoration of intimacy that makes me most proud of the work we do in treating erectile dysfunction for our patients. ED is an intimacy destroyer. Research shows that men can draw apart from their partners when ED affects their sex life. The condition causes stress, anxiety, and depression. Even worse, a man's partner can even blame themselves when ED becomes a problem. For us at Heartland Men's Health, this is unacceptable because ED is simply a medical condition like any other, and we have many treatment options and treatment combinations that can stop ED in its tracks. In fact, we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. So call us and get back those intimate moments. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices: Overland Park, Independence, and now North Kansas City.
It's a Red Friday on 96.5 The Fan and the other place, especially with these great game day specials. 8 wings and a basket of tots for $12 plus $4 domestic OP cups. The other place, the next best thing to being at the game.
Finding an attorney can be an overwhelming process. Fortunately, since 1996, Mark Ferguson has helped thousands of Kansas Cityans during their time of need. Whether you're facing a traffic violation or a more serious crime, Mark and his team of seasoned, compassionate professionals are here to fight for you in all of your legal matters. Mark has built his career on integrity, knowledge, and an incredible reputation. Call Mark Ferguson at 816-203-2263. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Space may be the final frontier, but it's also what a lot of us lack in our basement or garage. By switching to a Navien tankless water heater, not only will you have all the hot water you need whenever you need it, but you'll gain storage area as well. Maybe a place to display your space collectibles.
Highly logical.
Learn about Navien's series of high-efficiency tankless water heaters and how they don't just save space, but save dollars on your utility bills too. For more, go to tanklessmadesimple.com.
Arvest Bank, believing in the power of serving others.
Arvest Bank believes in the power of serving others. That's why we're committed to supporting those who serve our communities. We believe that all communities deserve a financial partner who cares. Arvest. We believe.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Kansas side, K7 northbound slows past College Boulevard with a problem. Missouri side, 29 northbound sluggish across the Bond Bridge up towards 16th Avenue with road crews working. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
This is the all-new 96.5 The Fan, your new home for Royals baseball. KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
We're back here on Fescoe and Dusty here on 96.5 The Fan. James with us as well. Mac will be back on Monday. Chiefs play the Chargers on Sunday. Royals play Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Let's hope they wrap this thing up tonight so we don't have to worry about Sunday coming along and deciding what we're going to watch.
Right, they play at 2.
Everybody plays at 2 o'clock in baseball on Sunday, which I love. It's great.
That's like right in the witching hour.
I know it is, right? It really is. But it's good.
Tough.
Like, it's good for baseball to play everybody at the same time, so everybody knows what's going on, and you kind of everybody starts clinching and whatnot. But hopefully, there's some stuff that still needs to be clinched. But hopefully, it's not us, man. Hopefully, we take care of business. We get in tonight and don't have anything to worry about when it comes to Saturday or Sunday, other than jockeying for playoff position. We have 3 against Atlanta. Detroit, the team that we're kind of fighting against for that wild card positioning, has 3 against the White Sox. So I don't know if the White Sox show up. We'll see what happens, but it'll be very, very interesting to follow Detroit this weekend as well, and then see really how bad Minnesota falls apart, because they last night losing that game the way that they did in the 13th inning or whatever was their season now officially over.
Yeah, it sucks to see. Kind of. Keep that manager on your side. James, why don't we dive into it? Let's get into the Richard of the Week. Okay. This is this week's Rich of the Week by me. It comes as no surprise that I am calling someone out for saying something against the Kansas City Chiefs. So be it. We played
take your pick this week.
Right. We played this audio earlier in the week. This was Rob Gronkowski on, well, I'll let him explain himself.
Do the Chiefs get calls? Do they get better calls than the Patriots got?
I would say so. I mean, I didn't really get calls. I mean, I was double teamed. I was basically executed off the line of scrimmage half the time and 5 yards into the route. And then they would call pass interference on me when I was trying to get the guy off of me. Remember when I hit Tre'Davious White? Because he held me 4 times in one play, and then Tom threw the interception to him. And then I finally flipped out because that was the 50th time I got held that year. So then I gave him the people's elbow just like that, like it was a WWE ring. It was just, a bang-bang play. I didn't mean to do that. But it just happened because I was frustrated by not getting any single calls at all. So, yeah, the Chiefs get way more calls than the Patriots. I mean, I don't even remember getting calls.
Really?
I mean, specifically for myself, I didn't get any calls. Maybe as a team, I don't know. I don't remember those calls. But specifically,
you think
myself.
The second somebody touched Brady, flags weren't flying? Really?
I mean, I don't remember those ones, okay? I'm just talking about myself. Tom might have gotten some calls, but for myself, I'm talking, I used to just get pounded, from the linebacker all the way to the safety. I used to get held. The guys used to jump on my back, and the ball would be thrown to me, and there would be nothing called. So, I mean, Tom might have gotten some calls, though.
I think he did, actually. I gotta say, sometimes, yeah.
Somebody in the text line says, Dusty, how can it be a Richard? I took it as he was joking. I don't think he was. I think Rob Gronkowski is literally still that Patriots fanboy, as he can be. That's totally fine. That's who he played for most of his career outside of the Tampa Bay years. But, man, we all know that's a Richard take, because the NFL's rules essentially got brought into the new wave of the NFL thanks to Tom Brady and the Patriots.
Yeah.
Not only that, the Chiefs get way more calls. There's stats out there that prove that the Chiefs don't get as many calls you want, just like how everybody says, they show too much Taylor Swift on television. That's not true. Look at the numbers. You got people in the Buffalo Bills organization, Haley Steinfeld, saying that she's not about him putting her on the screen. It's about the game and the players. Come on. Stop being against the Chiefs. Maybe everybody's Richards against the Chiefs. I don't care. But Rob Gronkowski, you have to understand. You have to be honest. You guys got them all. We can go back to the 2018 AFC Championship game where the ball clearly hit Julian Edelman's thumb, but it wasn't called a call, where Tom Brady was considered roughed by Chris Jones on one of the worst plays I've ever been seen called in Kansas City Chiefs history. So let's just be honest here. You're a little bit of a Richard to think that the Chiefs get way more calls. What you could have done is said, no comment. If you're good, Sometimes you're just good for the right reasons, and sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. Rob Gronkowski, this week's Richard of the Week for One Dusty Likens.
Well, it's also getting to the point now where we are just looking for reasons why people don't like the Chiefs. I was talking to my buddy Joe, yes, sausage, egg, and cheese bagel, or steak, egg, and cheese bagel fame. And he's like, people are just like now just grasping at straws for trying to find ways to beat the Chiefs. And they're upset that the Chiefs can beat you in so many different ways and take care of business in so many different ways. They can beat you deep. They can beat you short. They can beat you up. They can beat you down. They can beat you with defense. They can beat you with special teams. And now it's just everybody throwing their hands in the air saying, yeah, going, we can't stop them no matter what we do. And that's why people are very mad and very upset with the Kansas City Chiefs. My Richard of the Week is going to whoever the jackass is that owns the Pittsburgh Pirates. And I think his name is Nuttingham or something like that. Pittsburgh Pirate owner gets my Richard of the Week. And this one may have flown under the radar, but this is a microcosm of where a lot of owners in baseball are right now and why you should truly appreciate John Sherman as the owner of our team. Pittsburgh Pirate
You
first
don't want to
baseman.
know his name.
It's Nuttingham or something, isn't it?
It's Bob Nutting.
That's what I said, Nuttingham. Yeah, I was close, right? Nutting, yeah.
Bob Nutting.
Nutting. N-U-T-T-I-N-G.
I-N-G.
Nutting. Yeah, well, he's nutting on this one because Rowdy Tellez woke up on Tuesday 4 plate appearances short of earning a $200,000 performance bonus. He played this season on a 1-year, $3.2 million contract. He had a clause in his contract that triggered a $200,000 bonus if he made 425 plate appearances. They cut him.
That's
4
brutal.
plate appearances short of giving him a $200,000 performance bonus. I know we're on the radio, and I know I'm not allowed to curse, but there's a lot of F-bombs I want to drop right now about this owner of the Pittsburgh Pirates. He should be forced to sell the team because he's not in it for the right reasons. And there are too many owners in baseball today, Oakland A's, California Angels, White Sox. I'm talking to you guys that care more about the money than you do about the winning. And that's not fair to your fans who are paying a freight to go see a good product, that you are so cheap that you cut a gentleman 4 plate appearances shy of earning a $200,000 bonus, and in baseball terms is a drop in the bucket. That's a D-bag move, man. Nuttingham, kiss my ass.
Bob Nutting. Yeah. Somebody says Bob Nutting is on the come.
Yeah, he is. He definitely is, yeah. Hey, think about that. Could you imagine that, man? Like, God.
Yeah.
David Glass didn't even do stuff like that, I don't think. I know of.
Both guys are well-deserving this week. I mean, to think that the Chiefs get more calls in New England.
Yeah.
Like, New England got to play playoff football before they gave both teams the option to play in overtime. Like, the Chiefs didn't get it against New England, challenged the rule.
Yeah.
They said no. Then the Chiefs did it to Buffalo, and Buffalo challenged the rule and said, you know what?
Let's do it, yeah.
Give me a break.
I don't know if Gronk, if this is even the right term, but Gronk plays a male bimbo really good.
He's a good frat boy.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Because I do think a lot of it is an act by Gronk. Because
for sure, he's a wrestler.
Yeah,
like he was at WrestleMania.
Yeah, listening to Gronk, I'm like, you're smarter than you let on. You play this dumb guy frat boy role really, really well. And it works for you. But I know Gronk is smart because he never spent a dime of the money that he earned playing in the NFL.
Yeah.
He gets it. He understands it. Yeah. And I think a little of it was in jest, but he even went further on and talked about, I don't understand how people think we got all these calls and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You never think you're getting the calls when you're in the moment. But this isn't the case with the Chiefs. They haven't gotten a call yet this season, save that Brian Cook one, that has benefited them in games this year. And I get tired of that narrative because it really diminishes how good they are as a team. When people start reaching for the referee card, it means they've got nothing else left, and you diminish what these teams are doing and the greatness of the coaches and the players and everybody that's involved in putting this team together. You're diminishing their hard work by saying they're benefiting because of the referees.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. I want to bring up this stat before we get to Harold Kuntz, who will join us for the roundtable of Fox 4. Chiefs and Chargers play this Sunday. These are the last 4 games for Patrick Mahomes, and I'll give you the last 4 games of Travis Kelce. Mahomes in his last 4 games against the Los Angeles Chargers is 107 of 158 for 1,398 yards, 12 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, which is good for a 64 completion percentage.
They're pretty good.
Travis Kelce's last 4 games against the Chargers, 43 targets, 33 receptions, 536 yards, and 6 touchdowns.
That's pretty good, too.
So somebody who everybody's down on is about to do something because the numbers...
Well, who? Because it could be anybody on the roster.
It could be... I'm talking about the 2 that I just
Yeah.
mentioned. It could either be Kelce, it could be Mahomes, it could be both, but it seems that both of them know how to play against the Los Angeles Chargers. I understand it is a new regime when it comes to the Jim Harbaugh days, but also these 2 guys ain't new to the game, and they ain't new to L.A.
But, Dusty, how many new regimes have we seen in the AFC West since Patrick Mahomes has come into Kansas City? The Raiders change coaches more than I change underwear because I don't wear it that much anymore. The Denver Broncos change coaches and quarterbacks like it's going out of style. And the Chargers have changed a lot, right? I mentioned earlier Patrick Mahomes, 16-1 straight up against the AFC West in road games. He's lost 1 road game in his career against an AFC West opponent, which is a wild, unbelievable stat. Patrick Mahomes is also 30-5 straight up against AFC West opponents in his career.
Nice.
So to say they get up for divisional games is kind of an understatement. They're going to be ready. The Chargers are going to get their ass kicked.
Harold Kuntz is ready. He's not wearing red. He's wearing blue for the Royals. I'm so proud of Harold. He'll join us next on the roundtable here on Fescoe and Dusty on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
I love talking about my friends over at Manning Roofing because they put a new roof on our house 2 years ago, and I couldn't be happier with the job that they did. I know the day. It was a storm. The hail was coming down, and I'm like, uh-oh, we're going to have some issues with that roof. So the next day I called my friend Jimmy, who works over at Manning Roofing. I said, hey, can you come out here and look at our roof? And he's like, yeah, I'll be out there today. They came out that day, gave us a storm damage assessment, and told us exactly what was wrong. The other thing that Manning Roofing explained to us is that, hey, we're a true general contractor, so you're probably going to need new gutters as well. We can handle that. You may need new windows. We can handle that as well because Manning Roofing is one of the only companies in the world today that is preferred by Anderson and Pella both. They are Anderson certified and Pella preferred. And you may have some siding damage. You probably want to get that looked at as well. We can handle that because we're a true general contractor. We're a one-stop shop for everything. Manning Roofing handled everything. They did it seamlessly. It was a wonderful experience with Manning Roofing. The other thing that I love about them is that they've done thousands of jobs here in Kansas City, folks, and they've never been rejected by an insurance company. So even if you aren't working with Manning and you have some questions about the insurance stuff that's going on, get in touch with Manning Roofing today. Set up your appointment at manninggc.com. That's manninggc.com, or give them a call, 816-448-8208. Manning is my one-stop shop for roofs, gutters, siding, and windows. The choice is simple. It's Manning Roofing.
Hey, sports fans. If you like college football and you love the excitement of going for a big score with parlay wagering, then this offer from BetMGM really has legs. Introducing the College Football No Sweat Parlay Token. Apply this token to any qualifying college football parlay wager. If you don't win, you'll get your stake back in bonus bets. Log into your existing BetMGM account to receive your token. Then add a qualifying college football parlay wager to your bet slip and attach the token. You'll get your stake back in bonus bets if your parlay isn't a winner. So go deep without even breaking a sweat. Make your favorite picks from dozens of betting options and watch the games knowing you're part of the action. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards are non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 7 days.
We're in a commercial.
Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Brought to you by Blue KC is the Coaches with Character program. Do you know a rock star high school coach in your district? Nominate them for the Blue KC Coaches with Character program at bluekc.com/nominate coaches with character. Let's make our coaches feel special and make our community a better place to live, work, and play.
It's Wrangler season out there. Warmer days, cooler nights. Open roads, endless horizons. And you need to be ready in jeans made for the unpredictable. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
Is your everyday congestion preventing you from enjoying life's big moments? Try Vicks Sinex Saline today and get yourself back in the action. Vicks Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion with a gentle ultrafine mist. Sinex Saline's drug-free, no-mess formula instantly moisturizes and soothes dry, irritated nasal passages for quick and effective relief. Get back to enjoying life's big moments to the fullest without having to worry about everyday congestion holding you back. Just Sinex, breathe, use as directed.
Save on O'Reilly Brake Parts Cleaner. Get 2 cans of O'Reilly Brake Parts Cleaner for just $8. Valid in-store only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is the story of the one. As a warehouse manager, her job is to transform chaos into clarity and to see patterns where others see problems. Luckily, she's got a partner who shares her perspective. Grainger offers over 1 million industrial-grade products, backed by real-person support and in-depth online resources, so she can tackle every task with precision and turn potential setbacks into streamlined success. Call clickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
After you use Bounce Dryer Sheets and realize how fresh, soft, less wrinkled, and less staticky your laundry can be, you'll put a sheet on it every time. Like those socks that smell like they've been through a marathon. Put a sheet on it. Or that blanket that's got wrinkles on its wrinkles. Put a sheet on it. Maybe even your chatty coworker who keeps distracting you. Okay, Bounce Dryer Sheets can't do it all. But for fresher, softer, better laundry, put a sheet on it with Bounce.
What's better than watching your team win? Winning money while you do it. I'm Jim Costa, and on Cash the Ticket, Mike Valeni and I give you the edge to make every game playable. College football, NFL, we're breaking it all down game by game. Your podcast feed is going to be filled, and you're going to love it. You can click on the games you care about. We do it all. With our analysis, we're finding games that other people aren't talking about. We're turning every Saturday and every Sunday into days where you got a chance to win. Don't just sit on the sidelines. Cash the Ticket with us. Follow Cash the Ticket in the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Today, expect mostly sunny skies with a high of 78.
Weather brought to you by Indeed. Make the hiring process work for you. With Indeed's end-to-end hiring solution, you can attract, interview, and hire candidates all from one place. Start at Indeed.com/credit.
Kansas Lottery Play-On app. Scan your tickets for more chances to win.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
All right, it is Friday around 9:15-ish, 9:20-ish. This show flies by every week, but we are now joined at the round table with Fox 4's own Mr. Harold Kuntz. Man, how are you today?
Good. How are you guys
doing this
wonderful morning?
Hardest working guy.
Glad to know that the microphones work.
Yeah, there you go.
On this Royals clinching the playoffs.
That's
morning.
right.
Yeah,
right.
That's what
finally.
I'm finally in a state of mind where I don't care if someone's mad that we don't talk Royals or someone's mad we don't talk Chiefs, because, I mean, literally you can talk both, and you're going to either – people are going to be ecstatic or they're going to be, Like, for the first time in my life working at this radio station, we had a text today that says, Week 4 in the NFL is irrelevant. Talk playoff baseball.
Yeah, and we will. Well, once we get to the playoffs, we'll talk playoff baseball. They got to clinch this thing tonight, and then we can all breathe and have that sigh of relief and whatnot. But, I mean, let's start with the Royals. I mean, you got your Royals jersey on today and whatnot. Everybody's kind of representing KC and excited about this. We've never been in this kind of time before where both of our teams are the talk of the town, and everybody's excited all over the place about the Royals and the Chiefs at the exact same time. What's your expectation for the Royals in the playoffs, Harold?
Man, if they could pull off another one of those 1-0 games like they had the first game against Washington, that was amazing.
Yeah.
Because the pitching was exceptional. I think if you've got Lugo and Reagans out there in a wild card series for game 1 and game 2, you've got a shot.
Right.
If they're on their A game, you've got a good shot. I mean, I don't think the bats are right there just yet. But, I mean, obviously, once you get past Bobby and Salvi, they're going to be pitched around a lot in the playoffs. We already know that. They're going to make the other guys win. So those other guys have to step up. That's just really what it comes down to. But we saw a little bit of more momentum going when they, that third inning when they got the line moving there and with some singles and got things going. We see Renfroe get the big bat for a home run. It was nice to see a home run for once in a little while.
Right.
I think you just got to get quality starts like they've done all year.
All year.
I mean, almost half of their starts have been quality starts.
I was going to say, I don't remember one start this year that hasn't been a quality
I know.
start.
It's hard to
right?
think of them. But between Lugo and Reagan's, depending upon which one, I mean, you can go either one, 1A, 1B right there.
Yeah.
Depending upon the matchup, I'm sure they'll, how many lefties are in one line, what have you. But you get a shot with those two.
You do. You really do. Do you want to see Baltimore or Houston? Do you have a preference over that? I'd rather see Baltimore.
Yeah, I'd rather see Baltimore. They've been kind of,
they're kind of floundering.
They're a young team too.
Right.
That's also kind of hit a little bit of a wall. So I just think that you've got a good shot there, especially with the pitching there.
Yeah.
With the guys in Baltimore. You got a shot.
Houston's tough, man. Yeah. Like every year, it's
plus
where the hell are these guys coming from?
You got to play in a park that is a hitter-friendly park too.
I mean, so is Baltimore.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. I just like the way that, at least for Baltimore's sake, they've been kind of projecting
right.
down.
I'm with you. Yeah. Baltimore's trending down. Houston's trending up. You'd rather play a team that's trending down in the playoffs. Like, I'd love to play the Twins in the first round of the playoffs. Like, that collapse is just unbelievable for me. But, I mean, I think the playoff expectation for the Royals is pretty simple. Just enjoy it.
Yeah. You got nothing to lose.
Right.
Absolutely nothing to lose. I mean, the fact that this team is one win away from a playoff or one Twins loss away from a playoff, I think the Twins loss might come before the Royals, to be honest with you. But,
make it easier.
But, I mean, just the fact that they're even in this position, it's house money now.
Yeah.
I think they've far exceeded, even when we started, April, and we're like, oh, this is just brand new roster. There's only 7 guys left from last season. You thought to yourself, 75, 80 wins, that wouldn't be bad. I think 80 wins would be exceptional.
Yeah.
And now make the playoffs. Just make the playoffs and just see what happens. At this point, this is house money.
Absolutely.
This is a new experience for pretty much everybody in the room except for Salvador and a couple others that are veterans that got brought in. So, it's house money.
Yep.
Swing freely.
Yep.
No doubt. This is the Roundtable with Harold Coons, brought to you by Kansas Lottery. Dream bigger. Harold, I'm interested to know, it's Lugo, it's Reagan's. Is number 3 the obvious Michael Wacha to go into spearhead the playoffs with your pitching rotation?
Yeah, I think it's Wacha.
What if Brady goes out there tonight?
I think it's Wacha, but
like
in his last start where it was 5 and you could tell he was battling, that would not happen in the playoffs, especially if it's a game 3 situation.
That's where you'd bring in Singer?
It would be 3, then you maybe Lorenzen if he's healthy.
I don't know if Singer makes the postseason roster.
Singer.
What do you think? If I think today goes a long way to determining whether Brady makes the postseason roster.
I think
or not.
so.
I don't think he's earned it yet.
I think this is the most important start of his career. Tonight.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's a great take.
I think he has to come in with that mentality.
Yeah.
I mean, especially up against Max Fried, who, record notwithstanding, he's a great pitcher.
Yep.
I think this is really he has to prove to Q his worth.
I agree.
Right? If he wants the ball, he's a competitive guy. He's just got to prove his worth if he wants the ball.
Yeah, I've been kind of advocating all year, but the last month or so that we've been talking about this is that Brady needs to show me something before he's on the postseason roster. I don't think he's handled adversity well this year. He's had some really good moments. That first half was spectacular, right? And then he's really been very mid, as the kids like to say these days. And if I were the Royals and you're looking to grow your team in the offseason, I wouldn't hesitate trading Brady Singer at all this offseason. I think he could be a good trade piece to help you get better pieces back in return.
I mean, he's the homegrown guy. He's one of the last Dayton Moore, that big draft. And then you got Chris Bubich, who's now been
outstanding in the bullpen.
You got Daniel Lynch, who's been
outstanding in the bullpen. Yeah,
it's so Brady Singer, do you want to be a starter? Or do you want to be outstanding in the bullpen?
Right.
It's up to you, man. This is a perfect opportunity to do it. It's not going to be a big crowd in Atlanta, I would imagine, just because of everybody dealing with the hurricane. So get out there, show yourself, prove it.
Yeah, I'm interested to know because obviously you have the Bobby Witt thing, and Bob has said that this playoff run could be bigger for Bobby Witt Jr. than anybody else in the playoffs because we know that he is the superstar on the come, and he is that guy that Home Run Derby was kind of captivated with. Obviously, the hometown knows him, but where can his ceiling go to you if he has a successful playoff? Let's say they get to the ALCS and they go to New York. I guess they'd play them in the ALDS as of right now. They go to New York and play them, and Bobby's in there, and they get to Game 7. Where does he go from there? Is he the face of the league?
I was about to say he'll have a starring role in an FX show called Grotesquerie. That's where Bobby Witt's going next.
Okay,
yeah,
I love that.
Yeah.
I think it's bigger for Bobby Witt to get in the playoffs than they do for the Royals to get into the playoffs. You know, because we've heard so much about Judge and so much about Ohtani this year, rightfully so. But this would put Bobby Witt in front of the casual baseball fan, I think.
For sure. I mean, you think to yourself, like, if he had, like, the personality of, like, a Vinny Pasquantino.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, his skill set, his, God-given gifts, then he'd be a star right now in the making.
Yeah, could you imagine that if you combine Vinny's personality with Bobby's production? Yeah, it'd be great.
But you walk around the Royals clubhouse, as I have, multiple times this season, you're just like, Bobby's got a little bit of a personality, like, I remember when he was getting his $288 million, he showed a little bit of his personality that day. And I mean, who wouldn't when you're getting that much money? But at the same time, you're like, I didn't like the cliche answers.
Right.
I get it.
Very much like Mahomes, right?
I get you're preaching today. It's all about today. That's Cotrero. I appreciate that. It helps them win. Whatever helps them win, great. But just, when they were in the middle of the streak, it's like somebody get ticked off. Like somebody just start. Like, when the cameras are there, somebody just starts screaming. Just make it known to somebody or the outside universe, yeah, we're ticked off too. And at no point do you think to yourself, like, I know they're frustrated. I know they're mad, but, like, just show it. Just, give me something out there. And Salvi's the captain.
Yep.
Salvi will always be the captain. But this is Bobby's team. So it's like, Bobby, get out there. Like, you want to go 3 for 4 in the playoffs? Prove it. Be a stud. And this is a perfect opportunity to be a stud. There's no bigger platform in baseball than to be a stud where you're playing Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday games, and you're not competing against football.
Right.
You have the floor. Go out there and prove it. Be a star.
And that's where you really make your name in sports is when you exceed in the postseason.
Yeah.
That's when good players become superstars. I mean, Derek Jeter, people will argue, wasn't even the greatest shortstop on his own team at times, with A-Rod being there. But that guy had a knack for winning. Patrick Mahomes has a knack for winning. There are certain players out there, Michael Jordan, that have that knack for winning. I'd love to see Bobby Witt be that guy from a baseball standpoint here in Kansas City.
Well, think about, the guy that works under Bobby Stroop, too, and Patrick Mahomes. Like, let's think about this. He had 151 yards passing against Cincinnati. They still won because it's still, you associate Mahomes with winning.
Right.
At the end of the day. It's like, a lot of times, like, from an outside perspective, you may not even look at the stat line just because you're like, oh, he won.
That's right.
So he must have played well.
I'm that way. That's where I am.
He must have played well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Witt's going to be that. He definitely has the potential to be the same way.
I'm glad that you bring up Patrick Mahomes. We can segue into the Chiefs versus the Chargers. It'll be his 100th start. It's kind of crazy. Start number 100. And if he wins, I believe he will have 78 wins, which means he will have a 78% win percentage as a starter in the NFL in 7 years.
Yeah,
I mean, the guy is absolutely, I think, you think about it, you grew up watching Jordan. Like, the similarities there. We watched Tiger in golf. Like, you didn't want to see the red polo on Sunday, whether he had a one-stroke lead or if he was down 4. And with Michael, you didn't want to see him, and you didn't want to go to Chicago and play him. Mahomes is there, like he's been there, and like the numbers that just continue to come out with him. And now we're out here going, well, has he lost something? Is he not the same? And like that's the narrative we're going with.
He's admitting it too.
And I think that we'll see a petty Mahomes type of game.
Yeah, I think he's admitting it too. He's not playing up to his high level. Put it that way. I mean, like we obviously just discussed the 151 yards against Cincinnati. Let's discuss the last game against Atlanta. He's off on throws. Like that third and second throw with Shea open and Xavier open, he misses him. He doesn't lead them. Like his base is not right. I don't know if it's one thing where like he's getting adjusted to thinking that there's going to be some pressure coming because like Kingsley was starting the first 2 games. Now it's Wanye.
Yeah.
But he was fairly well protected. I believe I saw he was only even pressured on 17% of his dropbacks in the last game against Atlanta. So it's like he's being afforded quality protection. And it's just, and he's got a decent run game to go with it. Like we don't give enough credit to Carson Steele. Like that was a pretty good performance.
Yeah, it was
real good. For a guy that's a backup, like that's a great performance. And he got 17 carries out of him. So the tools are there in place. He's just got to put the ball where it is. And the thing is, that's a good thing where it's happening now. In a week 3 game against Atlanta or a week 4 game against the Chargers who are clearly beat up. Like they have their problems of their own right now. Their injury report is their report right now. Because they're struggling. But this is just a good opportunity. They've never lost he's never lost in SoFi. Like it's just
he just doesn't lose against the AFC West.
Yeah. So like this is just perfect opportunity to put it together. And I think the fact that you've got a guy like Rashee Rice who's second in the lead in receiving right now, 288 yards. Defenses are going to slowly start to adjust to like, we need to start watching number 4. Well, guess who that opens up?
87.
Number 1, number 87.
Yeah.
So it's just Pick your choice.
Do you think the torch has been passed for him? Because we had Nate, or who was it that said that? It was Josh Briscoe.
Okay.
He said that the torch might be being passed right now in front of our eyes, whether we want to believe it or not. That like Travis is basically telling Rashee Rice, like, "Hey, you're
he's running his routes.
Yeah. Exactly.
He's running his routes right now. I mean,
Yeah.
that doesn't tell you a torch is being passed. It's like Travis has every right in the world to say, you know what, you got it, bud.
Yeah.
Get back to me when you need it. Like, I'm here if needed.
Yeah.
You know, like, and if you need me to go off for 130, I can. That's perfectly fine. But if he's getting his yards, we're winning. And I'll just block. Like,
Yeah, right.
Like, and it's like, hey.
And that's the beauty about this team.
Yeah, and another thing, Mahomes mentioned, like, oh, they had a linebacker underneath. They got guys covered. They got 3 guys paying attention to Travis. Oh, Noah Gray's wide open for 13 yards. Like, nobody's around him.
Right.
So, and Noah Gray, I mean, there's a reason why they just paid him.
Right. Yep.
You know, he's pretty serviceable. So you know, like you have the weapons involved. Just got to use them. Just got to find them.
Yeah.
But
that's the thing, though, Harold. I mean, like, you just spoke like logic. Like, you just spoke realism. And nobody wants to hear that outside of Kansas City. Maybe there are some people inside of Kansas City that just don't want to hear it. You know, you had Todd McVay calling him fat. You know, you had other people saying he's washed. Like, you know, too much time with Taylor Swift and all this nonsense that people have been peddling about Travis Kelce. It's like, I think more people have opinions on things they don't watch and pay attention to than things they actually watch and pay attention to. Because if you watch and pay attention to these games and watch every play like we have from an offensive standpoint, you start to realize you're like, oh, wait, you're just making up narratives because it's good for clickbait type stuff.
He's locked in the ball. He's locked in the ball.
I know he is.
I mean, I get it. I get it. He was on a TV show on FX the other day. Fine. You know that was filmed during the offseason, right?
Right.
Yeah. Well, they don't.
Right. They think it's live.
Yeah. It's like, you know, the offseason where, like, players are allowed to freely do whatever the heck they choose.
Like what you do on your vacation, like all of us get vacation.
Yeah.
Players get vacation, too.
Like, I guarantee you during the bye week that some of those guys got a few obligations they got to get to that are off the field. Oh, my gosh. They live lives.
Right. Yes.
So,
but Neanderthal getting your playbook guy does not understand that.
Gosh. So they should be watching film.
Right. Yeah, no. Do you work during your vacation, Bill?
Yeah. No, my phone is off. Like it's off. Like
gone.
It's on there for pictures of food.
I guess they're going to complain when he starts hosting the "Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader" or whatever it is. Like, I mean, yeah.
Are you smarter than Gronk?
Yeah.
You know,
Yes. Right.
Like I just like all the narratives for the Chiefs this year just they're just wrong.
But there's going to be narratives.
Yeah.
Like in town, out of town, there's going to be narratives because, again, people, once you win so much, the side flips. You're not the happy-go-lucky story anymore. You're the freaking Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, and this is the first year we're seeing everybody hates it.
You can tell everybody when they play them, it is like this is the first time I could really tell, like, oh, these teams really want to win. Like the Bengals, I think they lost the Washington game losing to Kansas City.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I can see that.
I mean, a lot of that, Jaden Daniels, respect. But at the same time, you're like, oh, they put a lot into
So you're saying they overlooked them when they lost to New England then, too?
Yeah, well, they just, I mean, I think, they may have. Like, they're like, yeah.
We'll be 1-0 going to play the Chiefs.
Like, you know, every offseason, people put in plans. They're like, oh, Cincinnati, they were scripted that game plan against Kansas City. You know, Baltimore was the same way.
Yep.
I mean, like, in Atlanta, they got actual Atlanta fans to go to that game. So, like,
well, they also gave out 2 free hot dogs, a bag of chips, and a commemorative cup of a guy's
They could have
face.
made it like, please come, free hot dogs, free commemorative beverages,
much.
all the Coca-Cola you want, even though the museum's right down the street. Like, they tried.
Yeah.
And in L.A., I mean, that's a lost cause.
Yeah, it
Don't
is.
get me wrong, but that's just because the Chargers should still be in San Diego.
That is a neutral site at best.
Yeah.
I have 2 more for you before we let you get back to your crazy busy weekend. You'll be at the game in L.A.
Yeah.
But Kareem Hunt, what are your expectations?
3-4 carries.
Yeah.
Maybe. Fill and roll. I mean, Carson's still going to be the lead guy. Samaje is going to come in third downs. That's not going to change. You know, he'll get some guys that, you know, when Carson needs a blow, he'll get a carry or two just to get involved, you know, get his feet wet in football. But I don't have too much expectations for him. I'm glad to see him back. I think it's good that he's in a mature, responsible, you know, area in his life. That's good. I love the irony of the fact that he's wearing number 29 and his age is 29. So I think you'll get 3-4 carries out of him at most.
No catches in the backfield or anything like that?
I just don't think he's there yet.
Okay.
They said he went through like a kind of a mini training camp, which I believe. I mean,
he
I'm
hasn't
sure
done
he's working
anything
hard,
since January.
but he hasn't done anything. Like the football shape is still progressing. Like you just like some low key, low pressure situations. Maybe Carson needs a break. It's a 2nd and 6 or 1st and 10. They're like, all right, here's Kareem for a carry.
Yeah.
Give him a blow. I think that's where he comes in.
And I think that's the expectation you have to have. Anybody going in with other expectations of the 2018.
Those are just fantasy wishers.
Yeah.
Fantasy owners are like, please get a touchdown. I do think it's funny interesting his DraftKings numbers plus 220 to score anytime.
Plus 220?
Plus 220.
Good value.
Which is interesting.
I think it's great value.
Yeah, that's great.
Because I think he's going to score this weekend. I do.
Oh, why not?
Yeah, right?
And do the sleep on me celebration. And then last one, this is for my ego. When the Spurs were going through their winning ways and winning all the national championships, were they considered boring?
Yes. To a national.
That's it.
To a national perspective.
Okay.
Of course.
I thought, just making sure.
As people who are old enough to endure like a San Antonio Detroit series, it was
terrible.
Yeah.
And Al Michaels was on the call back then.
It was like 71-68 final score.
Yeah.
Tim Duncan hitting bank shots,
were
not
there
calling.
any flags for Al Michaels during the?
No. Yeah, I mean probably.
There's 147 flags.
Yeah, there's fouls.
No, I do say from his standpoint, you say the national narrative on the Spurs. I was telling him earlier, I was there in San Antonio for the first couple of years of that run, and everybody down there thought it was boring, but they were winning and they didn't care.
Well, I mean, when your star is named a big fundamental,
exactly.
You just offended both. Some guy basically called me a jackass because I don't know basketball. He said the Spurs were definitely not boring. Nobody ever said that. I was like, I'm pretty sure that was their narrative.
They said it themselves.
Don't get me wrong, it was great team basketball.
Oh,
right,
yeah.
but that doesn't mean it's
fantastic.
exciting. Like you're not raining threes or anything like that. It comes back to the Patrick Mahomes.
It was a different era,
right?
Yeah.
The 3-point jump shot hadn't been invented yet in the NBA.
Right.
Well, it had, but it wasn't Steph Curry invention.
Right.
All right, Harold, man. Thanks for coming out and joining us for the time. We appreciate it. Have a good, safe flight out to LA. And
enjoy LA,
Appreciate
man.
it. It should be
Tell
fun.
Josh we said hi if you
Will
see
do.
him. Yeah.
Okay. Harold Kuntz of Fox 4 at the Roundtable, brought to you by Kansas Lottery. Dream bigger. Bob, do your thing.
Let's go ahead and give away another qualifier for that $500 Hy-Vee gift card. Today is our final qualifier. We'll take caller number 15 to 913-586-7965 if you know who the missing Chief in this highlight is.
1st and 10 this time on the far hash at the Bengal 44. Mahomes, clean pocket. Going long, left, and it's caught! Left side, touchdown! Kansas City! The Chiefs go for a 44-yard bomb, and it goes to number 4. Down the far sideline. That is the 100th touchdown pass at GEHA Field at Arrowhead Stadium for Patrick Mahomes.
Hell of an editing job, Mac.
That's going to be a tough one to get, Mac. We appreciate the hard work on that one.
Way to put in the effort, Mac,
All
and
right.
get that one knocked out of the ballpark.
Yeah, if you can guess
so if
the
you
Chief.
can hear who that was, you'll be qualifier number 5 to win that $500 Hy-Vee gift card.
My
We will
gosh.
announce that winner on Monday once the promotions people do their job. But if you're caller 15, that's a layup for you. 913-586-7965.
We'll get into our tailgate talk, and we'll talk why it's the greatest time of the year for being a Kansas City sports fan. Bob Fescoe, Dusty, like it's Harold Kuntz. James with you as well. This is Fescoe and Dusty on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Kansas Lottery Play-On app. Scan your tickets for more chances to win.
Hey, Kansas City, it's Jeff Briggs with Victory Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, home of the Victory Effect, our pledge to drive down vehicle pricing for the city we love. The Labor Day sales event has been extended through September, along with extra incentives from the factory. New Ram heavy duties are now priced up to $16,000 off. New Jeep SUVs priced as low as $22,988. And the best part? Included for free is our first-class customer service, backed by the highest Google and Facebook ratings of any CDJR dealership in the state of Kansas. How do we do it? Transparent pricing. No hidden fees or extra add-ons here, folks. Also, we stand behind our product. If at any time you are dissatisfied with your purchase or your experience, you get a deal directly with me, the owner. And of course, don't forget the free spray and bed liner with the purchase of every new truck. Visit us at Kansas City's only automotive outlet mall, the Legends Auto Plaza, on the southeast corner of 435 and Parallel, just east of Nebraska Furniture Mart, or online at victorymotorskc.com, where our first price is better than their last.
Men, when addressing the problem of erectile dysfunction, you want the right treatment for your specific medical situation because every case is different, and finding the right treatment can mean the difference between just an okay experience and an amazing one. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and at our practices, we offer the full range of ED treatment protocols and can even combine therapies to help make those intimate moments special both for you and your partner. At Heartland Men's Health, we take great pride in providing excellent care and treatment options for ED. Our medical providers specialize in men's sexual health and understand that no two cases are alike, which means you'll get the right treatment for you based on sound medical evaluation and appropriate applications of medical therapies. Plus, we offer treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means if you're like most men, you'll get your sex life back. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices: Overland Park, Independence, and now North Kansas City.
Hey, Chiefs Kingdom, as the official whiskey sponsor of the NFL, it's not a kickoff without the generous spirit of Crown Royal. And that's why we've built the Crown Royal Rig, an absurdly awesome 18-wheeler delivering the generous spirit to stadiums and tailgates across the country. Follow the Royal Rig on its journey from city to city, bringing together local cuisine, NFL legends, and the opportunity to pack a purple bag for charity and win tickets to Super Bowl 59. Visit crownroyal.com for rules and more. Please drink responsibly.
I'm Brian Tedesco, CEO of Blaupunk Americas, the pioneers of the car stereo. Today, we're not just about sound systems. We are revolutionizing the e-bike scene with Blue Dot Bike. Thanks to AmericanEagle.com, our online presence now features a dynamic e-commerce website that showcases the quality and affordability of our foldable e-bikes. And our collegiate e-bikes, just perfect for the college fanatic. These e-bikes offer a new way to experience freedom on 2 wheels, no matter your age. When we needed a top-notch website to match our cutting-edge e-bikes, we turned to AmericanEagle.com. They made the impossible seem easy, tackling digital challenges like pros. Check out the Blue Dot Bike website to see AmericanEagle.com's amazing work in action. Need the best in website and digital marketing solutions? AmericanEagle.com is your go-to. They've been a game changer for us, and they can be for you too. Visit AmericanEagle.com or call 877-WEB-NOW-1. That's 877-WEB-NOW-1.
Vanguard is 100% client-owned, serving over 50 million investors every day. Whether you're planning for retirement, putting your kids through college, or saving up for your next adventure, Vanguard can help you set personalized investment goals. All investing is subject to risk. Vanguard is owned by its funds, which are owned by Vanguard's fund shareholder clients. Copyright 2024, The Vanguard Group, Inc., all rights reserved, Vanguard Marketing Corporation Distributor.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Mom, meet Sarah.
From first-time Nana moments.
Yeah, welcome to Flight 101.
To annual girls trip moments. Your can't-miss moments are worth protecting against RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV. And there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com.
So where should we go next?
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Bonus hour of the roundtable. Harold's going to stick around whether he likes it or not. I'm going to ask him what he's eating this weekend for the Chiefs game. I don't know what you're going to get in L.A. We do this with our tailgate talk here at the end of the show on Fescoe in the Morning, brought to you by Garage Doors of Rainer Garage Doors of KC. LiftMaster's Patent IQ technology is the #1 professionally installed garage door opener. Find them at RainerKC.com. I'm always interested because I've been in the Chiefs press box for games before, and I've had the food.
Yeah. Great
L.A.,
food.
you've been there? Like,
So,
how did they do it?
Nate Taylor, our dear friend, he says that once I go to L.A., because I've never been to that stadium before.
Oh, you haven't? This is the first time
This
for
is
you.
the first time.
Losing the V card at SoFi.
Yeah, I told him before the season, like, no, I'm going this year. This is my turn.
Yeah.
I've been to San Francisco 3 times.
Ugh.
I want L.A. So I got L.A. Thank you to the good folks at Fox 4. And Nate was telling me, like, yeah, once you go to this stadium, you're going to wonder what happened when you come back home.
Oh, yeah.
And when it comes to the service, the food,
Oh, no, you're
the
getting
atmosphere.
sushi and prime rib.
Yeah, I'm like, this isn't a football game. This is a luxury experience.
But that's what they want.
Yeah.
That's what makes the money for everybody, right? Which is why when we talk new stadiums, you know, Clark sees that. He sees Las Vegas. Like, he needs more.
Well, just think about
right?
the AFC West. Like, it might be the best grouping, maybe second best grouping of stadiums per division.
Yeah, who would rank ahead of them?
Maybe the NFC South. Just because, like, all of them have done Super Bowls.
been-
Superdome, Super Bowl, Tampa's done Super Bowl, Atlanta's
Gotcha, okay.
Atlanta's nice.
Yeah.
I mean,
Has Carolina had one yet?
No, they've not had a Super
no,
Bowl.
but Carolina
yeah.
Stadium is
trash.
That
like
is
late
trash.
90s.
Yeah.
It's a lot like Cincinnati's,
Right.
late 90s stadium.
Right.
But it's still fine. It's just
You
it's
get
a
that
basic,
stadium envy,
but it's right
you know?
downtown.
Right.
Like, Carolina's right downtown. Yeah. But no, I mean, like, think about it. Vegas is,
Exceptional.
made for Vegas.
Right.
Yeah. LA's is awesome.
Yep.
And then Denver's is a pretty nice, standard stadium.
Even though it's older now, it's still a good environment,
And then,
you know?
And the Arrowhead's considered one of the best environments in professional sports. So,
Right.
yeah, it's a great combination of stadiums. But when you're the Hunt family and you go to L.A. and Vegas every year, you're like, this is nice.
Yeah.
This is
Something like
is
this.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when I saw end zone suites in the original Arrowhead plan before, obviously, it was voted down, I was like, I know where they got that from.
Yep,
I know
of
exactly
course.
where they got that from.
That's Vegas. Yeah.
People don't understand also, too, how horrible those seats are. You know, they're going to charge high dollar for them. You can't see the game.
Yeah.
And you stand the whole time.
Yeah, you do. Well, you stand the whole time at Arrowhead now anyway, though.
That's fair.
You know, you do. You're standing the whole time. I think we sat like during timeouts, and that was about it.
Did we get a winner for the?
We did.
Okay.
Steve Shepard is our big winner today.
It's a tough one there, Steve. Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations, Steve.
Yeah.
Way to go. Knocked it out of the park, Mac. Let me tell you.
So this is interesting. Put yourself in my shoes. Sunday, football, Royals play at 2. Let's say it's an important game. What's on your top screen of 2 TVs? Red Zone in the witching hour or the Royals playing their game at 2 o'clock?
Well, I don't know if I'll be at SoFi.
I know. I'm saying if you were in my shoes.
I might be. I was about to say, I want to talk about my shoes first.
Okay.
Now I'm curious. If I'm at SoFi, I mean, I might just be sitting down luxuriously, have 4 TV screens in my ready. It'd be nice, but if I was
massage,
in your screens, take a massage in the second quarter.
Right.
This is gonna be
Get a hot shave.
Yeah.
You won't even be in shoes.
It's like, what's the score? Oh, 14-3.
Here's a nice
Yeah,
heated
good.
robe and
Yeah.
slippers for you to wear, right?
Curling your damn toes. You ever done that in a press box? Yeah. I don't think anybody has except Jerry Jones.
Yeah, jeez. Yeah, no, but yeah, they got lucky yesterday. But
Yeah.
no, I would say that I would try to do a thing. I would still have the Royals and the smaller box and the Chiefs and the big box, just because of the way football is.
Right.
Things can happen. I mean, don't get me wrong, things can happen in baseball, but just like there's something happening that I really need to pay attention to. Whereas baseball, it's like I can see the home run in the small box,
Right.
so like, I can see the strikeout in the small box. So but yeah, I'm definitely in. This is the first time since I've been here, because I mean I got here after 2015. Not too long after, but just after. This is the first
Have
time
you been here that long already?
Yeah, no, it's crazy. But
it goes so fast.
yeah, I
dude.
know, right? But I was talking about that with my wife. I was like, we've really been in this city this long. Oh my gosh,
Almost a decade.
Yeah. So, but at the same time, I'm like, I haven't been through this before. I would be at a Chiefs game and being like, what's the Royals score? You know? But like now, I'm hoping Friday or Saturday this is nipped in the bud.
Yeah, like we get this taken care of tonight.
So Sunday they're like,
same.
Just get whoever out of there, get everybody healthy.
But you're also playing for that playoff positioning too, Like,
well,
like as we talked about
because
earlier,
Detroit's
right?
playing the White Sox,
Right.
So like,
Hey, they just swept the
they
Angels.
won. They just swept the Angels. They just swept the Angels.
Yeah.
I mean, like
And you just stole candy from a baby.
Yeah, I can't think of any better motivation to be like, let's not be the worst ever team to play baseball.
That's what I was saying. Like they're winning in spite.
120 losses. We are not getting to 121. Darn it.
And the fans are ticked.
Yes.
They were booing their own team.
History.
They wanted history. They wanted to be there.
Well, like think about like when the Lions were 0-15 back in the day. You're
Oh,
like,
God,
finish
yes.
the job.
Yes. If you're going to be bad,
I
be
remember
historically
when the
bad.
Colts were 0-14 and then the Titans lost to them. They're like, what are you doing?
That's right.
Finish the job.
Yeah, you got to get the job done at that point. You put us through hell for all this. At least be the worst, right? At least be the worst.
Do you think who do you think is more pressured to win a ring this year in baseball, Bryce Harper or Aaron Judge?
I think it's Judge without question because of the New York thing.
I'm a little partial.
I know, that's why I bring it up. Yeah.
I'm a little partial to Bryce Harper, but oh man.
Because I mean, since 16, he's been promised. LeBron got his ring. Harper's the next athlete that I can see that's been brought up that young.
Yeah, I mean, in that sense, Judge for the fact that the numbers got to get backed up with a championship ring. I mean,
because right now he's Dan Marino.
Yeah,
yeah, and everybody talks about Aaron Judge like he's good but not great.
It's baseball playoffs,
sure,
which are the most
they're wide open.
Might as well throw that's the one you genuinely throw away to regular season.
You do
because
it's completely
it's a
different.
crapshoot.
Yeah,
all it is college basketball.
Like you played 162 games, and you're like, all right. Settle it in 3.
But it's But it's crazy how all sports change in the playoffs, right? Every sport is different in the postseason, but baseball is so dramatically different. Like you could have all these home run hitters like Soto and Judge in your lineup, but you get to baseball or you get to the postseason, they're basically neutralized because you got great starting pitching going against them.
Great start. But then what happens if one of your starting pitchers just decides to have just a horrible day?
Right, you're screwed.
You're screwed.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's over.
That's why I think there's so many similarities to college basketball and the MLB. Yeah. Like you see those teams all year, like the Iowa States, who power through the Big 12 sometimes because they have 3-point shooting.
And then they met Fairleigh Dickinson.
And then they get into the tournament, and you find a team like Fairleigh Dickinson that knows how to play like red-ass defense, and those threes go away.
Or you just go cold.
Yeah, and then just like baseball, you see the Yankees, Judge and Soto, all of a sudden they hit a cold streak in the playoffs, and they go up against a guy like Cole Reagans and Seth Lugo who don't hit a cold streak and continue to deal. And it's like, what happened to the Yankees? It's like, well, you just took a 162-game sample size and shrunk it down into a 7-game series, and they lost 4.
Yeah.
And that's all it is.
Or the 3-game series is bizarre for me. I like it. I think it's fun, but that thing could be over before you go to bed, you know?
I mean, like, we could be talking about Tuesday, Wednesday. It's like, well, they lost 6-2 and 6-4.
Right.
Like, it was tennis. And it was like, all right, we're done.
We're done. And then, like, there was no home game.
Great season.
But again, it goes back to the expectations as we started with. Don't have any. Just have fun. Enjoy this. The Royals are back, and they're in the playoffs.
Do you guys enjoy the first round to be 3 games, or did you like the one game, bite every fingernail off your hand?
I like both, quite honestly. I don't know. That's like asking me my favorite child. You have to depend on the day and who's acting.
I only like the 3 just because at least it gives your 1 and 2 best pitchers an opportunity.
But that one, man, that drama.
I mean, it's drama. I mean, everybody here remembers
because we saw the greatest wild card game ever.
Just saw the Casey Oakland game. Shout out to Oakland.
Right.
Yeah, what'd you think of that, by the way? Did you watch any of the final moments?
I mean, I watched the clips.
Yeah.
I was sitting here like, billionaires do what billionaires usually do.
Yep.
Correct. Sorry. And to be fair, like, Oakland, there's 2 sides of it. Oakland proposed a stadium and found some funding, but they expect a billionaire to, pay some of it.
Oh, God forbid you ask an owner to dip into his pocket.
I mean,
they're not all John Sherman who are willing to write $1 billion check.
Yeah, like, my goodness, I'm so surprised that somebody would ask a billionaire that owns a thing that, helped their team. God forbid. Woo.
Right.
But, there's that side to it. Oakland tried to help, but there's the other side of it, like, you're going to Sacramento for,
3 years. Do you think they actually end up in Las Vegas, though? I'm still kind of 50-50.
And the Vegas deal isn't, like, completely done yet. And they're talking about basically making it like a 25, 30,000 seat stadium that's just going to be a gambling casino, basically. It's like, all right, I mean, cool, but...
You know what they're going to do if they go to Vegas? They're going to be called the Las Vegas Aces. And they're going to be red and gold. They're going to say, we'll keep the A and you can keep the gold, but we're going to be called the Las Vegas Aces.
Oh, I think,
they can do whatever they want.
Don't change those great uniforms. The ones they wore yesterday.
They're not wearing green and gold out there. There's no way.
They got to, man.
They had that uniform yesterday was just gorgeous.
No.
God.
They're going to go full evil and go black and red.
So you're the Cincinnati Reds, like City Connect?
I will say the last team to move from Oakland to Las Vegas, that was a pretty perfect transition. I was like, Las Vegas Raiders does, like, I say Las Vegas Raiders a lot readily more than I do San Diego Chargers.
Right.
Like every now and again, I'm still like, that's right, they are in LA.
Yeah.
But like Vegas Raiders, I was like, oh, that's perfect.
It works.
Yeah. That's
They don't
perfect.
have the home crowd though anymore.
No,
you know,
they have tourists.
So, yeah,
I mean,
that's all
but
they
there's
care
only so
about.
many home crowds in NFL. Like this isn't college football,
Right, but
Like,
Oakland was a home crowd in the NFL.
Sure.
Denver is, Kansas
Sure.
City is.
Yeah.
You know, Green Bay probably is.
Pittsburgh,
Pittsburgh, Buffalo,
So
Detroit,
Baltimore.
Yeah.
Baltimore's a good atmosphere too.
Harold Coons, Fox 4, Bob Fescoe of Odyssey, James of Odyssey, Dusty Likens of Odyssey as well. As we go around the table, again, go do nice things for somebody you never know could change their day, week, month, or year. It is simply cool to care. Kansas City, stay safe, stay kind. We'll talk to you Monday when the Chiefs are 4-0 and the Royals are officially a playoff team. Take care this weekend.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5, The Fan.
You've been waiting, and now is the time. Golden Oak Lending has fixed mortgage rates at 4.875%. But don't wait, this rate won't last forever. I'm James Hawkins, president of Golden Oak Lending. Why pay